Islam was supposed to disappear. Most ideologies die when their empires fall, but why did Islam not? That's the mystery we will uncover in this video and see how Islam adapted through the 1400 years of its existence. And before you think this is just another story of faith, it's not. It's about how an ideology outlives power. Islam is often described as a religion that spread outward, but its first transformation happened inward. In just 23 years, a persecuted message became a functioning society. Under Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Arabia didn't just change beliefs, it changed incentives. Tribal loyalty gave way to shared law. Revenge gave way to accountability. Power became tied to moral authority. By the time the Prophet died, Islam already governed territory, resolved disputes, and enforced law. But the upcoming situation created a problem no revelation could solve. What happens to authority when prophecy ends? Islam's greatest fracture didn't come from outsiders. It came from succession. After the Prophet's death, expansion continued, but unity didn't. Leadership became a question of legitimacy. Was authority inherited or earned by consensus? Then when Ali ibn Abi Talib was assassinated, the debate turned violent. This wasn't merely political. It defined how Muslims understood leadership, justice, and divine authority. From this moment emerged Sunni and Shia Islam, not as ideologies, but as memories of betrayal and loss. And once memory hardens, it doesn't fade. The First Islamic Empire solved chaos but created inequality. The Umayyad leaders centralized power, standardized language, and expanded faster than any Muslim state before it. Islam became the language of law. Arabic became the language of power. But power corrupts morality, and that led to slow brewing poison. Islam preached equality, yet non-Arab Muslims were excluded from full status. The empire grew larger, but its moral credibility shrank. And when belief and power diverge, revolution becomes inevitable. The Abbasid Revolution happened, and it didn't just change rulers, it changed priorities. Power shifted east to Baghdad, and Islam turned from expansion to introspection. The Abbasid Caliphate invested in scholarship, not conquest. Greek philosophy was translated. Medicine became institutional. Mathematics became abstract. For centuries, the Islamic world wasn't just powerful, it was curious. But intellectual dominance creates a fatal vulnerability. And in the 13th century, that vulnerability was exposed to a lurking danger. Baghdad is attacked and destroyed by the Mongol, with which the Islamic world experienced something new. Civilizational trauma. Libraries were burned. Institutions collapsed. The caliphate ended. Many believed Islam's golden age was over forever. But there's a verse in Quran that Muslims believe in, which says Allah is the best of planners. So a paradox occurred. After bringing Islam almost to its extinction, the Mongol themselves eventually converted to Islam, and Islam survived by letting go of centralization. It stopped depending on capitals and started living through networks. Scholars, trade routes, communities. Power shattered, faith adapted, and from that fragmentation, new empires emerged. Islam didn't reunify, it diversified. 3 empires rose: Ottoman, Safavid, Mughal. Each represented a different interpretation of Islam and power. The Ottoman Empire dominated geopolitics, trade, and pilgrimage routes. For centuries, Islam wasn't reacting to the world, it was shaping it. But while Muslim empires mastered territory, Europe mastered technology. And history quietly changed direction, turning the tide against Islam one more time. Muslim powers didn't collapse suddenly. They simply fell behind. European empires replaced Islamic governance with foreign borders, foreign laws, and foreign priorities. In 1918, the Ottoman Empire fell. For the first time in over a millennium, Islam had no political center. What remained wasn't authority, but identity. And history proves that identity once threatened becomes powerful. The Muslim world searched for recovery. Some chose nationalism, others chose socialism, others returned to religion. But none solved everything. Colonial borders produced fragile states. Modernization clashed with tradition. Faith oscillated between public and private life. Islam wasn't static. It was negotiating survival in a world it didn't design. And unresolved tension never stays quiet. Two moments changed perception forever: the Iranian Revolution and the Soviet-Afghan War. Islam was no longer viewed as civilization but as ideology, and certainly not a peaceful one. Local struggles were globalized. Complex histories were oversimplified. After the attacks of 2001, that framing hardened even further. But everyone ignored and misunderstood something fundamental. Islam had survived far worse than headlines. People have a misconception and think that it never changed since it emerged from a cave. But the truth is, Islam lasted only because it did change. It moved from empire to community, from capital to conscience, from power to practice. Empires gave Islam reach. Adaptation gave it survival. After 14 centuries, Islam isn't frozen in the past. It's a living continuum. And it is not a story of conquest or collapse, but the real story of its endurance. There are so many more stories and personalities to uncover from the Islamic world, so subscribe and turn on the notification icon.